Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Connecting with Augusta County Schools. Again, I'm Eric Bond, proudly serve as the Division Superintendent for Augusta County Schools, and we're very excited today for this episode to be at Beverly Manor Middle School. Our topic today is our middle school sports programs that we implemented a couple years ago in Augusta County Schools. And we're very excited today to be talking to Mrs. Julie Sanger, who is a sixth grade English teacher here at Beverly Manor Middle School, but who also serves as the school's athletic director. And also with us as a guest is Ms. Madison Carter, who serves as a physical education teacher here at Beverly Manor Middle School and is also the head volleyball coach at Beverly Manor Middle School. So, ladies, welcome to Connecting with Augusta County Schools.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, ladies, if you could, talk to us a little bit about the middle school sports program in general and how important and valuable it has been to our students at the middle school level. Ms. Sanger?
Yeah, so it's about 4 years ago when we started with middle school sports, and we started with just basketball, and then we added in volleyball and then cross country as well. So many families in our communities have their kids in sports that are outside of middle school. So it's been great to bring kids that are in middle school together. It helps to foster that community here. It's been a great thing to help, just our community here at Beverly Manor.
Sure. Ms. Carter, what are your thoughts on that? How has it been important and valuable, do you think, to our middle school students?
I think middle school sports are just really important for fundamental aspects. It's teaching them, how to serve, how to pass, the correct form. So I think it's really important to be teaching that at the middle school level so they'll be ready for JV and varsity.
So I think you're spot on. The other thing, too, I'd like to add is, prior to our middle school students really didn't have anything extracurricular as far as athletics go. If you're in the eighth grade, you might be able to participate at the high school level in the JV, but we opened this up to sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. So it really does give something for our students to participate in. I think we all know that research shows that students that are involved in extracurricular and co-curricular activities, they perform better academically as well. It gives them a sense of belonging to something, and I think it does a whole lot for just school spirit and what we can add to our middle school programs. I know some of our middle schools not only incorporated just the athletic teams themselves, but they have pep bands that are involved. They have some cheerleaders or spirit clubs that are involved. So it gets a lot of students involved into some extracurricular, co-curricular activities that we just didn't have for a long, long time. So something we're very proud of.
I also like being able to interact with the kids outside the classroom.
Absolutely. Well, not only connecting with the kids, but their families as well.
Absolutely.
It's been a community engagement, which is very, very important. So, Ms. Carter, since volleyball is being represented here today, can you talk to us a little bit about your volleyball season? I understand you had a very successful season this year. So tell us a bit about your commitments to practice and games and maybe any special memories you had of the season.
Yeah, so we had 17 people on our team, which is a pretty big number, but I had to be super organized, and pretty much every practice the girls came in ready to work. That was definitely the most relieving factor of that because they knew what they were supposed to do every practice. I used to coach varsity, but I learned in middle school that you can only have 5-minute segment activities for them. So every 5 minutes we were changing a different drill, different direction, but they really just took it and went with it. And I just think that's why we were so successful. They really bought into the program that I was selling them. So
she's not saying enough about how she motivated them too, because there were times when we did get down. And there was one time in particular, we were playing in the tournament and they were playing that last game and they wanted so bad to win and they were getting down and she called timeout. They all came together. And she didn't fuss at it. She just said one question: what do we need to do to score points? And it stopped them and it made them think. And then they came back and won the second set. So she's not saying enough about how she motivated the kids. They came in ready to work because they wanted to make her proud and they wanted to do the things that she was teaching them.
Well, thank you. My favorite memory that we did, it was kind of like our pregame ritual. Every single time we would come back from, let's say, we were hitting and then we would meet in the locker room. Every 17 of our players would go around and say a goal for themselves for the game. And they had an accountability partner that had to hold them to that goal. So it could be, some of them were kind of funny and then some of them were very strategic. Harper, who you're going to be talking to in a few minutes, her goal was always, where are you going to hit the ball? She was working on that. And then some were like, I'm going to be positive, I'm going to be cheering. So everyone on our team had a role. And all 17 played in pretty much every game. So that was very rewarding.
I think it's rewarding in the fact of it, something that was successful for your team, but it's also teaching a life lesson. You're teaching students to set goals, hold themselves accountable for those goals, working towards those goals and achieving those goals. So I think it's just a life lesson in general. So that's wonderful. Thank you for your leadership on that. So, Ms. Carter, not only are you responsible for being the head coach, that is in addition to your role as a teacher here, as I said earlier, a physical education teacher here at Beverly Manor Middle School. Why is it important for you to be involved in the sports programs as a teacher and a coach?
I think that it's important because I get to interact with them outside of the daily activities that we do. And building relationships with them is just super important for me. And then they can have someone they can talk to at school if they have an issue. But also, I think it's important for leadership as well. Seeing a female coaching, I think that's super important in this age of time.
Absolutely. So we like to pride ourselves on our students being student athletes, students being very, very important to us in their academics. Certainly athletics are important as well. So Ms. Sanger, how do you view the relationship between the athletics and the academics here at Beverly Manor Middle School?
So that's one thing as the athletic coordinator that before tryouts even happen, is I have to check grades and just kind of see where everybody is. And one of the criteria is kids need to be passing 4 out of 5 of their classes. So if I do find somebody that maybe has a couple of Fs or they're borderline, I do talk to them before tryouts. And a lot of times it's just they need to get work turned in, or they've turned it in and we're waiting to be graded so I can go talk to their teachers. And so then I can bring that up. If they get their grades where they need to be, I can bring that up with their parents too. So that's something that at our parent meeting that I stress, that we want our students to thrive in the classroom as well as on the court. So we try to get that balance so that they can see that. Now, some kids being on the team is the motivator. So, we work hard to keep them where they need to be. And some kids, it's behavior. It's not their grades that they're being on the team really helps. There were some super happy kids that made it on our teams that I think did better in the classroom because of that. So, yeah, I think it's a great balance. It's a life lesson balance, but yeah.
Right. Again, as a former coach myself, and we said it earlier, there's a lot of research that shows that it is a motivating factor for some of our students. The extracurricular, co-curricular activity is something they really want to be involved with, and they know to be involved, they have to perform in the classroom. So it can be a motivator. So I agree with you 100%. Ms. Carter, do you have any thoughts you want to add to that? What are your thoughts on that, the relationship between athletics and the academics?
I started my season off with the girls with a little conference telling them that they're going to be the hardest working team in Augusta County, on and off the court. And that's what I instilled in them every day. You're working hard on the court and you're working hard off the court. I just think it's super important, grades come first, athlete comes next. So if you ask any of them, they'll say, we're the hardest working team. I'm like, yes, you are. And you have to hold yourself accountable for that. So.
Well, certainly, as superintendent, I appreciate that philosophy and your leadership on that as well. So it is about being a student athlete in that order. So thank you very much for emphasizing that and stressing that with your team. So, ladies, I have one last question. Ms. Carter, I'll start with you this time. What is your hope for the future of the middle school sports program?
I'm hoping we get more kids involved in more sports programs. I am lucky to be a PE teacher. I get to see kids play all day long, and I'm always recruiting. I'm always like, come play volleyball. You'd be great at basketball. So I just think it's super important just to, recruit and continue to keep pushing those sports programs.
Okay. Ms. Sanger, as the athletic coordinator, what are your views on that?
Well, I'd love to see more sports added. With 2 fall and 1 winter sport, it would be great to continue on into the spring too. And there are lots of kids who ask, what about soccer? What about baseball and tennis even? So, and those are all possibilities that you could just kind of put in the programs and to really feed into the high school programs more.
And I think that's been the philosophy of myself and our school board. We kind of started out slow with the middle school sports, get them implemented, but we've seemed to add a team, it seems like every year. So we'll continue to look at that. And certainly we want to provide, again, opportunities for our middle school students that they didn't necessarily have before. So again, I think this is something that's ongoing and will continue to evolve, and hopefully we'll continue to add some more sports to our program. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure to talk to Ms. Singer and Mrs. Carter for your viewpoints. We're very excited to have two of our student athletes here at Beverly Manor Middle School that are going to give us their viewpoint on middle school athletics, in particular their experiences here at Beverly Manor Middle School with volleyball. So first, we have with us Miss Harper Carter.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. And we also have with us Ms. Abi Bennington.
Hi.
So Harper, welcome to Connecting with Augusta County Schools. We'll start with you. I guess my first question for you is, why did you choose to play volleyball here at Beverly Manor Middle School?
Well, I guess it was the thought of just trying to do a different sport because my dad is a basketball coach and he always wanted me to play basketball a lot. And so that was originally my first ever sport to play. But when I got here to the middle school, volleyball just became like something that I really wanted to try. And ever since I made the team in 6th grade, it always was like a strive for me to do better and to want to do it again.
So Harper, what advice would you give someone who wanted to try out for a sports team?
I'd say just have fun with it and do what you know. And a lot of people may think that you have to give 110%, but really just have fun with it and don't stress over trying to be perfect because you're not always going to be.
That's great advice. Thank you for sharing that perspective with us. I do have one last question for you before we start talking to Abby. Can you tell us what your favorite memory from the season here at Beverly Manor Middle School was? I know you guys had a pretty successful season this year. So what are some of your favorite memories you had from this season?
Well, I'd say one of my best memory here was it was my turn to serve at one of our volleyball games, and I just had an awesome serve streak. I just kept going and using all my power, and it got us so much points. And it just made me really happy and gave me an awesome feeling.
Fantastic. Well, Harper, thank you so much for your perspective. Thank you being for such a great student athlete here at Beverly Manor Middle School. And we appreciate you being with us today on Connecting with Augusta County Schools.
All right, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, hi, Abby. Thank you again for being here, being part of our show. Abby, what is your favorite part of being a student athlete?
That I get to represent our school and put my work that I put in towards something.
Nice. So it's a fine balance of your athletic practices and then, of course, your main responsibility here is being a student. How do you stay motivated to balance both your school and schoolwork as well as your sports?
Because I know that I have to do school first before school comes before sports. And so if I get a bad grade or something, it already puts me in a bad situation in my own mind, and I know whatever I do in school comes as a consequence with sports.
So Abby, what advice would you give someone who wanted to try out for a sports team?
You need to be able to put forth work and be able to work hard. And when you put forth that work, it shows the coach that you actually are trying to do something and you want to participate.
So you've completed your volleyball season. Do you have a favorite memory from the season here at Beverly Manor Middle School?
Winning all the games, and then I'd say in the championship, that was probably my favorite memory.
That was your favorite memory?
Yeah.
Yeah. Winning is fun, right?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And it's also special, I guess, because it'll be my last time playing volleyball with girls, go to Buffalo Gap and stuff. So
right.
It was special and stuff to make it there.
Absolutely. So we got one last question for you. So what are you most proud of from your volleyball season?
Probably that we stuck it out and we were able, even though we lost to our biggest opponent, we were still able to keep going, and keep putting forth effort, and it didn't let it get in our heads as much.
Well, thank you, Abby. We greatly appreciate you being part of our show, and we wish you well as you continue to grow in your studies and your athletics here at Beverly Manor Middle School. And thank you for being such a wonderful student athlete for us.
You're welcome.
Thanks again to all of our listeners for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to get updates on our latest episodes. Our episodes can always be found on Augusta County Schools' Facebook page and website.